My friends and I recently finished this Minecraft server, which we called the world of Specter's Crossing. And before in our Minecraft worlds, I've written a lot of lore for the world and characters, and this world is no different. In fact, it probably has more lore than the other worlds. Let's go and do another lore tour where I go through all the lore I have written, and we can see the story come together. Now, proper journal 1. The latest location of my travels is the town of Specter's Crossing. It's an old town built on the ruins of an even older civilization. Most of it is abandoned, and now only seems to be a sort of rest stop with an inn and campsites. I've decided to live in one of the abandoned houses for some time. Janice is also settling here, after she came back after some events in Scour Town. There's also an archaeologist here named Rupert Mamino. Rupert is researching some of the ancient ruins in an underground rumored to be now inhabited by ghosts and skeletons. Something that's caught my eye is an abandoned castle across the mountain canyon. For now, I'm happy to chill here for a while and explore. Excerpts from the Observer's Travels of Earth. I've stayed above Skyrock Town for many years, but I've only recently explored it. It's small for an Earth settlement, but it's very fascinating. The town seems to pride itself on its alien-themed tourism industry, and my influence seems to be in one of many local legends of the area. Their stories on aliens go as far back as a stray skulkivore that occupied an abandoned mine. The amusement park, Otherland, is one of many on Earth, but the first one I visited. It's much lower tech than the ones on my planet, but it's still thrilling and charming. There are several tribes of lycomorphs on Earth, and Luke, historically a resident of Skyrock Town, was one of them. Jen is a lycomorph that I have known. Luke seems to be a folk hero status in Skyrock Town. Despite his reputation as an outlaw, there seems to be an appeal to chaotic loners. There's an underground civilization under Skyrock Town. The market town of Glass Lake has many Earth trinkets. Mammon & Co. is one of the biggest shops there, and it manufactures some impressive tech. I found an attraction themed around Sam, who fought against me with Jan. The representation of a large fictional world in isolated artificial rooms is fascinating. Near Skyrock Town are the ruins of a massive walking mechanical fortress. It was once ruled by the god Emperor Mammon, or a robot shell for the mind of an old tyrant. After he fought me, he had a mental breakdown, destroying the fortress and the world around it. I and Jan were able to reverse the damage to the world, but this manwalker is still in ruins. It was apparently once powered by a massive heart. That kind of organic technology is unusual for Earth. In the middle of the jungle is a temple of light, ran by a tribe of lycomorphs. Apparently, Jan was able to stay there in a parallel timeline, safe from my attempt to terraform the world. The light energy there must have countered the effects of my skulk-based technology. Fortunately, I no longer want to transform the world. It is fascinating as it is, and I will enjoy exploring it for what it has to offer. There's an unassuming town in a forest far from Skyrock Town, called Stacone Town. Similarly to Skyrock Town, there's a secret scientific facility nearby. I had a garnished burger in the town, which seems to be the peak of delicacy in earthly cuisine. One of my recent travels took me to the town of Specter's Crossing, on a whole other continent of Earth. It's in some very picturesque mountains, and is quite humble. It's built on a spot where disembodied minds, known as spirits or ghosts, cross to their own world. Specter's Crossing may be built on an inconceivably old civilization. The archaeologist, Rupert Mamino, is researching these ruins. I won't be exploring them yet, but I encourage readers to check out any journals Mr. Mamino may write. South of Specter's Crossing, on mountain, is a large old castle. The locals seem to fear it, since it was once occupied by a tyrant who has since fallen. A dark curse still seems to linger on the castle. I appreciated the architecture from afar, but didn't explore further. My travels will continue. I have a whole planet full of life and history to explore. Sam Journal 1. After we finished cleaning up the skulk in Skyrock Town, Genesis not old form came back and went to this town of Specter's Crossing. Since I wanted to change the scenery, I decided to visit this town as well. The town seems kind of haunted, but it's nice. Guy always tells me that ghosts can be friends as much as living people can. I don't know how Janice is young again. Is she a ghost? Who knows? Whatever the case is, I think I'm just gonna chill. Now Proper is also here. He did some drawings with me and came up with the ideas for the movies I star in. I haven't actually interacted with him much, but I'm looking forward to getting to know him. And this inn is also an archaeologist. He's been researching some nearby ancient ruins underground. I like to hear about what he finds, but I don't feel like going down there myself yet. Other note, is Rupert Mammon related to Glamorous Mammon? They have similar last names and have a few similar features. What's the Mammon count now, Dad? Other note, I think Janice is looking for something. If she ever needs my help, I'm good to do so however I can. Guyana Journal 1. Specter's Crossing has gotten more active recently. Sometimes I come here when spirits need my help to go down the well, but otherwise, there are very few living people here compared to how many buildings there are. And there aren't many buildings either. Sam is hanging out in the inn now, which is neat. Not Proper's also here. He helped Glamorous Mammon make the movies I star in, but he's been pretty reclusive. There are a couple people here I haven't met before as well. There's a werewolf named Janice here. Sam has told me a lot about her. Apparently, she once ran a cult to summon a demon, but then she switched sides and slayed the demon. She seemed to die when the demon died, but she came back later, very aged. After another adventure in some time, younger Janice came back through a rift. So whoever Janice is, there are two of her now. I think Janice came here to find some werewolf stuff. I guess Sam and Not Proper followed. There's an archaeologist in the inn named Rupert Mammon. He's going to explore some of the nearby ruins near the mountain. There's a lot to learn from him, and he seems to find an equal amount to learn from other people. I told him about how I guide spirits here, and then he got all excited and referred to me as a psychopomp. I didn't know what that means at first, but apparently it's a term for beings who guide spirits to the afterlife. I suppose it's nice to learn more about what I do. I've not explored the ruins much, but if Mr. Mammon ever wants guidance, I could offer my services. He's more lively than who I usually help, but that shouldn't make much of a difference. Also, Not Proper and Janice have been renovating some of the houses in the village. Some may think that's ruining the original state of the town, but I think it's nice that the town is entering a new age of sorts. This is the Specter's Garden, a subterranean lake cavern overgrown with vines and flowers. In the middle of the lake is a portal that ghosts take to their final resting place. Some followers of the Reaper guide ghosts to this cave. The portal here is tied to the ghost portal in the Paganum ruins. The Paganum portal is the largest ghost portal in the region, and the stability of the ghost portals in the area are tied to it. Specter's Garden is a beautiful spot for ghosts to pass on, and for a living to guide them through. Within the fourth dimension is an infinite library containing all lore of the world. The library has no solid form, and shifts shape depending on who visits and when. The world's history, literature, memories, and information are all stored in the books of the library. The library can be entered in dreams, or from the physical world. Sometimes, large collections of lore in the physical world can open portals to the lore library, especially in areas of high concentrations of dream magic. The library contains interesting information, but also any information on the world. Lore can be extremely revealing or extremely mundane, down to things like detailed lists of types of soil found in a region. Most minds visiting the library only wander it subconsciously in dreams, though some are able to lucid dream in the library and find the lore that they seek. One frequent lucid visitor of the library is Lord Lore. Lord Lore has rigorously studied elements of his world and has become very knowledgeable. Lord Lore has even learned how to take his knowledge and create new lore from it and warp reality, like a powerful mage. Lord Lore studies the power of the things he encounters, learning how they work. When he learns enough, that is what allows him to learn how to harness that power and reshape it. Lord Lore's origin is unknown to many. Those who know of him only know him as he is in the present, a being who lives among the lore. Not Proper Journal 2. I've traveled to many strange places. I'm a wanderer. I collect artifacts and learn the stories of different places. I find myself drawn to paranormal events in Conetown, Scarrowtown, and sometimes other planets. I don't interfere much with what goes on in places I travel, but I have made friends with Janice of many tiles. Janice has played a more key role in the downfall of God King Mammon, Men Wars, stopping the Observer and reversing this Manwalker's destruction. Interestingly, the Observer looks very similar to me. Perhaps we are twins from the same cosmic originator. Otherwise, I don't think we have any relation. Our similarities are probably coincidence. I spent a long time being a spectator of the world, but now I want to settle down and have a more tangible presence. Along with Janice, a couple of people I know have settled here as well. Sam and Guyana have come to this town. Sam probably followed Janice, though Guyana, not being a part of recent events, probably made her way here independently. I have an interesting relationship with Sam and Guyana. I sometimes dream of a world where they go on their own adventures. I've told these adventures to Glamorous Mammon, also in my dreams. We made them into movies. I've even done some promotional art for them. I once dreamed of SSM, which is the source of his old movies. Though eventually I stopped dreaming of him, and his movies got pretty disparate. I'm glad SSM has turned around recently. I don't know why I have so many dreams of alternate worlds, with people I've met. Maybe others from my dreams could appear in this world. Dreams seem to somewhat materialize under this town. Maybe I've been brought here to figure out the mysteries of my existence. Spirit twins. There are theories that people can not only be physically twins, but spiritually twins. Spirit twins aren't born from the same parents, but they still share similar features. It's also possible for spirit twins to be born years apart, or even be in groups of more than two. The Well of Specter's Crossing. This is where lost souls enter the kingdom of the dead. Offerings can be made into the lake to wish them a peaceful journey. Not Proper Journal 3. Life has been nice here in Specter's Crossing. I've gotten to know everybody. There's so much to learn about. Jen and Janice, each of them seem to have 10 lifetimes worth of stories. Sam and Guyana are good to hang out with. They're pretty chill, but also down to hang out. Sam's coolness has not diminished now that I've gotten to know him more, and I find Guyana's stories of guiding spirits fascinating. Rupert is exploring the area, and has really neat things to say about the area. He believes this area is on top of the ruins of the old civilization of Paganum. I'm curious to see what he discovers. One of the dearest friends I've made here is Corn, my goat. He is beloved, and we share an unspoken bond. Not Proper Journal 4. I've been doing some more exploring. I've decided to explore the wooded canyon on the base of the mountain. I found this house, relatively well preserved because of it being made of stone. I found some old books. They may be a couple hundred years old. I've looked through some of them. They're pretty interesting. I'll probably tell Rupert about this house. He may find it valuable. Sleeping stones. Eyes and mouths are carved into stones to create sleeping stones. Spirits can occupy and rest in these stones while in the physical world. Essence from the soul picture plane are applied to the stone to make it easily occupiable. We scout the stones around the mountains so that wandering spirits can rest on their path. The Goat Lord. The Goat Lord ruled the town of Specter's Crossing in its later decades. He has only mysteriously disappeared recently, though he left the town in a somewhat desolate condition. Some say he had demonic powers, with influence over the spirits of the dead, and his dark presence was felt over the town. There are rumors that the Goat Lord's curse was removed from his being. The question remains as to what happened to the curse. Not Proper Journal 5. Corn has gone missing. One day I went to check on him and he was gone. I've asked everyone, no one has seen him. He could be anywhere. In the mountains. I have to find him. He may be in danger. Not Proper Journal 6. I found Corn in the nearby woods. There's a clearing with the grave of the Goat Lord, and weird sanguine growths around it. Corn must have been eating these growths. Since I found him erratically aggressive, he rammed into me. Ever since the ramming, I've been feeling weird. I felt sick and aggravated. This may be some influence from the red growths. I've also had some intense nightmares. I asked Guyana for help, since she knows a lot about plants, but she didn't know anything about the red growths or how to cure me. I also asked Rupert, since he seems to know many things, but he didn't know either. I'm just gonna hope it passes. Guyana Journal 2. Thanks to Janice, my van got an upgrade. Janice knows some magic to create pocket dimensions, so she helped me make one at the back of my van. This should let me do more with herbs, and it might help in giving spirits a place to stay when they're traveling. A Harper came to me and gave me some weird red fungus, and he thinks it made him cursed. I don't know anything about this yet. I'll try to research this sanguine fungus. Maybe learn something. Flowers of Specter's Crossing. Ghost Torch. A brightly colored flower with a flame-like bud. This flower is said to give ghosts a sense of direction. Soul Pitcher. A flower that lures ghosts and keeps them in there. It may take some time and outside influence to get the ghost out. Ghost Hand. A cyan, many-petaled flower that can be possessed by ghosts and can be a potent source of supernatural magic. Guy on this note, the Ghost Hand is the plant bound to my being. Guyana Journal 3. I saw an unusual ghost in Specter's Crossing tonight. It was the ghost of a cat. I don't normally meet ghosts of animals, so maybe this one was important. I carried her down the well, and she started hunting critters as she went through the caves. Guyana Journal 4. Do I look like Link when my hair is invisible? If you cover the entrance to the attic goblins' domain, the attic goblins will suffocate, die, and then their vengeful spirits will curse your house. Nice. Not Proper Journal 7. My nightmares are getting more intense. I'm not sure when I'm awake or in my dreams anymore. In my basements, I sometimes see a door. I wander through it, and find myself falling into a dark void of an island of scarlet. There's something happening to me. The ruins of the castle itself call to me. I don't feel like myself anymore. Sam Journal 2. I'm part of the Specter's Crossing Demon Hunters Guild now. It's a small group founded by Paganum, which does rituals to locate demons. I've done a few successful hunts so far. I figured I'd be good at hunting demons because of my experience with Derpy Mammon. It seems the guild has record of that event, though it's vague. I might help improve the records. I've done well fighting demons. They're pretty durable, though the demons I fought are more common ones. My light blade seems to weaken them as well. Some demonic activity has been noticed in the forest and castles south of town. I've heard stories about a powerful lord who harnessed demonic power, who once ruled from the old castle, and has since fallen. Why is there activity in the castle again? I might try investigating. On demons. Sometimes a ghost or spirit becomes corrupted. All of what makes them then is stripped away until they become a being of hunger. They wander, consuming and destroying whatever they are driven to. These are demons. Report of Derpy Mammon. Far away from Specter's Crossing, a powerful demon was awakened, attacked in the Skyrock Desert. This demon was probably Derpy Mammon, a being of insatiable greed. Derpy Mammon was probably once imprisoned beyond our physical world. I'm not sure how it was summoned, but was shortly destroyed before it caused too much damage. Derpy Mammon attacked well outside of our influence, but still one of the biggest demonic events in recent decades, and worth knowing about. Sam Journal 3. I've heard that some demon hunters tried to stop Janice from researching necromancy. I thought she was turning around, but I guess not. I was hoping that Janice would be a hero seeking redemption. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I can still help her. I followed Janice here thinking we could go on a heroic quest together. I suppose there's still Jan, but she spends a lot of time in the tent, and the tent unnerves me. This temple is dedicated to the Reaper. They make an easy journey for the dead. This is a town that the Reaper guides their ghosts to, and we are here to aid their journey. Lit candles on the southern and northern wings are beacons to the souls of loved ones to this town. May the Reaper be a guide not only to the dead, but to those wanting to help them in their purpose. From long crumbled foundations, this temple was built as a home for wayward spirits. The hall was made spacious with arches and domes, and a tree of support spans the ceiling to serve as a perch for the dead. Guyana Journal 5. I've been staying at Specter's Crossing more than usual. All sorts of mysteries seem to be arriving since the arrival of Mr. Mammon and Not Proper. Worship of the Reaper seems to be much older than I expected, since there seems to be imagery of them in the ruins I've been investigating with Mammon. I've devoted myself to the Reaper for a while, but I have not been so familiar with their history in the town until recently. Since Not Proper has gone missing, it looks like there's been activity in the Goat Lord's castle. Maybe these are connected. Why would Not Proper be in the castle now? Has some old power of the Goat Lord found its way to him? I might try researching the history of the downfall of the Goat Lord to see if he had a weakness. Maybe if Not Proper is the new Goat Lord, he may have the same weakness. I don't want to kill Not Proper, so I'll try to find a non-lethal means to weaken him if it comes to that. Town Capricorn Journal 1. At last I roam the physical world. My spirit sibling has fallen to nightmares, and now I wield his body and experience, but I retain my ambition. This body has gained some previously dormant demonic power, which I am eager to explore the possibilities of. This castle will be a good place to grow in power. This is the castle of Count Capricorn. The Capricorn constellation. The most mysterious of the zodiac constellations is Capricorn, the goatfish. All the other constellations have a story or meaning, but Capricorn's has been lost to time. Capricorn is just a goatfish in the night sky, and the cycle of other zodiacs, the travels of wood, have a story among the heroes and beasts of legend. Count Capricorn Journal 2. It's clear to me that I have inherited both the power and the throne of the Goat Lord. I have been researching the history of the Goat Lord to see what that means for me. The Goat Lord held great command over the people of Specter's Crossing. He often demanded tribute from them, making them even more powerful. The people of this town still fear the Goat Lord after all these years, so I'm sure that as the Goat Lord's heir, I can gain their wealth as he once did. It's still a mystery how the Goat Lord fell. Maybe it could fall as the Goat Lord did. Then again, I am Count Capricorn, not the Goat Lord. I'll be more powerful than he ever was. The throne of the Goat Lord is occupied again. The new ruler, Count Capricorn, demands tribute. Provide effigies of your fears, and they will be taken to the castle. Most mortals see dreams as nothing more than lies they see in their subconscious mind. But to some beings, dreams can be made truth. A potent or large amounts of dreams can be used to manipulate magical energy, and therefore the physical world. Mortals find comfort in the idea that nightmares aren't real, but this is entirely the case. Beings wielding demonic power can harness the power of nightmares, and some can also manipulate one's nightmares, a powerful combination. The spirit of the Goat Lord can bring nightmares to those it attaches itself to, and use it to bring them into a vampiric thrall. Therefore, the Goat Lord will reign eternal. Count Capricorn Journal 3. I'm learning more about Nutproper's abilities that even he hasn't fully known about. In his dreams, he sees alternate lives of people he knows, and I have also been able to do this in his body. What Nutproper never learned is that this is because he sees glimpses of people in other universes. His mind travels the halls of lore in the fourth dimension, and from there can see into lore of worlds beyond our own. Nutproper merely uses this power to tell stories, featuring people like Sam and Guyana, and Glamorous Mim helped produce these. Foolishly, Nutproper then uses this to become more powerful, but I will. The thing about these other universes is that the people are the same, but they have different experiences. These experiences will affect any version of these people in similar ways. If someone is scared of something in one universe, they are scared of it here. I'll search these other universes for traumatic events that would be much more potent than any nightmare, since in another world, they are much more real. I'll easily be able to break anyone down who dares oppose me. Sam Journal 4. Recently, this Count Capricorn has started asserting his power over Specter's Crossing. He's probably the reason behind the mysterious activities in the castle. I decided to do something about this. I asked Guyana if she would want to help, but she didn't want to. She wanted more time to make a plan. Not much for plans. Adventures tend to go my way, but I should have listened. I made my way through the castle and went up hallways and stairs until I found a courtyard, and there was the Count, watching me from the rooftops. To my horror, the Count seemed to be not proper, but pale, and horns on his head. Something had taken control of him. Guyana Journal 6. More people are catching on to my theory about not proper, and is captured by the Goat Lord, given Sam. He came to me recently and proposed he should attack the castle, to stop whatever's going on there. I said I didn't want to attack until I know what weakness the keeper of the castle has, but Sam wanted to stop it now. I couldn't stop Sam from following through, but I don't want him to get hurt by whatever is in there. Count Capricorn Journal 4. They're starting to fight back. The demon hunter Sam barged into my castle, and demanded I let go of Nutproper. I commanded the Count to let go of Nutproper, but he only smirked, and refused. So then the battle began. I told him I would never do such a thing. His power is better used by me than it is by him. It would be the downfall of fools like Sam. I started shooting at him. He blocked many of my bolts with a sword of light. This kind of weapon would burn lesser demons, but not me. I was able to keep up. My sword of light is effective against demons, but this corruption over Nutproper was powerful. He tried shooting his crossbow at me. I was able to block the bolts for some time, but at some point I wavered. The pain of the bolt seemed to go straight to my head. I started feeling more scared, but I kept fighting. The Count was getting around. Sam started to get tired, and I got more shots on him. I rammed him, and he shielded himself with a sword. The Count rammed me, and I started to bite my neck while I was down. I suddenly lost all bravery and confidence. I was in despair, and my shame of weakness only made it worse. It's like how Sam and Flame's movies must have felt. Now it's really happening to me for real. Sam fell, but the sword felt blindingly radiant at that moment. I didn't let that stop me from biting Sam's neck, so he could become my servant. I eventually snuck up on the castle after Sam had left, and found him fighting who must have been the Count in the courtyard. Unfortunately, the Count seemed to be a vampiric version of Not Proper. I didn't have time to think about this before the Count knocked Sam down and started biting his neck. I leapt into the courtyard and tried getting his attention. He stopped biting Sam and attacking me instead. I was interrupted by some amateur reaper named Diana wielding vines and sickles. I left Sam and finished to fight Diana. She evaded all my attempts to bite her. I could feel my performance wavering. The radiant feeling from Sam's sword lingered. I can feel it freeing my hold on Not Proper spirit. He was tough, but I noticed he seemed more distracted than he was fighting Sam, like he was half focusing on something else. The Count suddenly stopped biting before he was able to suck out whatever was left in me. It seemed like he was fighting something else. It felt like Diana was there. I took the chance to escape. I had no will to fight. While we fought, Sam was escaping, so I started looking for a window to leave as well. I could feel him trying to go for my neck, but I dodged his attempts. Still, the Count wielded some dark magic and started messing with my head. I had to try to keep Not Proper in his prison. I had to stop Diana. I resorted to pure nightmare magic to cripple her. I felt like I had done something horrible, things to those I love, and that I didn't deserve to prevail. Rationally, I knew I had no reason to feel that way. However, this feeling felt potently real, like the moments after waking up from a nightmare, except no amount of wakefulness could make it fade away. Not Proper Journal 8. For who knows how long I was stuck in a nightmarish void from which I couldn't wake up. Time was a blur. Eventually, the thought of escape stopped occurring to me. One day, I felt a light in the darkness. It felt like the light of an aurora of falling stars piercing the darkness. The darkness seemed to be trying to push it back, but the light only pushed deeper, until a hole was left in the walls of the void. Eventually, the Count was distracted long enough to give me a window to escape, which I did. Then, I felt a final push from the radiance. I struggled against it, but I regained myself to find both Sam and Guyana gone. I climbed out of the darkness. Gradually, it started to feel more physical, until the void gave way to bricks. I emerged in the dungeon, and was shocked to see that I phased right through the bars. I seemed to be disembodied. I'm pretty sure I'm not dead, but my spirit was freed from my body somehow. I drifted through the walls of the dungeon until I found myself outside the castle, south of Specter's Crossing. I wasn't sure what to do now that I'm a ghost, so I sought the person I knew who could help. I went to Guyana's van. She gave me a spot to rest inside. Not only that, but I felt that Not Proper had been freed from his restraints. That clown of a demon hunter had more power than I thought. I returned to my van to rest, and the shame I felt in the castle faded away. A while later, a ghost arrived at my van, the ghost of Not Proper. I gave him a spot to stay, and we both went to rest. She told me how she and Sam apparently fought my body that had been taken over by a demon who now rules the castle. They didn't stop him, but Guyana seemed pleasantly surprised to see me out of Count Capricorn's thrall. We both went to rest. Guyana's van is really comfortable for ghosts like me. I hid in an old house in a cave by the river. It's been some time since the battle. I feel better, except that sunlight has become painful. You feel uncomfortable. Sometimes I feel like I look paler. I think it's best to stay underground for now. Not Proper's spirit is free in the world. It could cause some problems, but this means I am now the only occupant of this body. Revenge will come. Not Proper Journal 9. Being a ghost isn't so bad. Grandma's been making me some tea from the plants she grows. It's been giving me some tangibility. I don't have that much of a need for a body now. I still don't want that Count Capricorn in my body, though. Grandma's working on a cure for vampirism. I'm not sure what I could do Apparently, Count Capricorn may have my ability to see alternate realities of people like Sam and Guyana. The Count might have used his power to find Sam and Guyana's darkest moments and combine that with nightmare magic to make them feel more potent. Maybe I could find their greatest moments. I'm not sure how to make them as potent as the Count's nightmares. The Tale of Jack-O-Lantern. Long ago, the O-Lanterns lived in this manner. They were successful pumpkin farmers. They were known for carving faces into pumpkins. As the patriarch, Jack-O-Lantern aged. He became less and less willing to let go of what little life he had left. He researched dark secrets of the world and learned how to cheat the Reaper. Jack-O-Lantern demanded eternal life. The Reaper provided, though when the contract was signed, additional conditions became clear. Jack was now in eternal service of the Reaper. Now Jack-O-Lantern has to carry a glowing carved pumpkin, leading a parade of ghosts where they need to go. However, every year, people everywhere decorate the streets with similar lit pumpkins, which the ghosts are drawn to. At this night, the ghosts scatter to all of the pumpkins, and all Jack can do is attempt to gather them back into the parade. In eternal life, Jack has become a husk of his former life, and in this manner has become cursed with his greed and regret. We vampires of Castle Capricorn are devoted to the Life Taker, the one true form of the Reaper. Some believe that the Reaper guides souls through a cycle of life and death. They are wrong. The Reaper's role is to take power from death. We vampires must follow the Life Taker's path. We take the life from living beings, making us stronger, and then those beings become one with us. Without their life force, they must either follow the path of the Life Taker and take life from the others, or become hungering, simple beasts. Life after death is power. That is only attainable by following the Life Taker. Guyana Journal 7. I've been looking into cures for vampirism, not just for Not Proper, but also Sam, since he may have been bit in the fight. I found out about an old herb called the Aurora fruit, that the pagan may have grown. Vampires and demons are weak to the sun's light, but it isn't a cure. The celestial rays from the sun is similar to Sam's magic sword he uses to fight demons. The fruit contains similar magic and can be distilled into a concoction. Sunlight or Sam's sword doesn't cure vampirism because they don't target the vampirism. Maybe a concoction of Aurora fruit could take the celestial magic directly to the vampirism in the body when drank. Such a potion may have been used to take down the Goat Lord. Count Capricorn seems more resistant to celestial magic than other vampires, though potent enough brew may be effective enough. It should be easy enough to give Sam the brew once I make it, but the count may be more difficult. For now, I need to find the fruit, or at least a seed to grow it. I found Sam and took him into the ruined city to help me find seeds, but we didn't go far before Sam started freaking out and getting aggressive. That's not like him. He's usually so well composed, and he doesn't seem to have full infection of vampirism. I suspect there's some demonic magic in the ruins that made Sam act that way. I know some areas are more prone to angering the undead or even partial undead than others. The city seems likely to do so. I want to take Sam down there again, but I don't want to go down there alone. I need to find a way to calm him down. Sam Journal 5. Guyana found me a bit ago and said that I may be partially vampire. I figured. I was glad for a bit that I hadn't gotten any sort of bloodlust for Guyana. Guyana asked me if I wanted to follow her into the ruined city to find a cure for me. She said there may be demons in the city, and luckily my condition isn't so bad. The magic sword doesn't burn to a touch. When we got into the city, I started feeling angry and hungry. I didn't feel it myself. As we got further, I think I got impatient with Guyana and might have yelled at her. Guyana decided it was best for her to leave. I feel so sorry. I don't know what came over me. I don't like those ruins. Count Capricorn Journal 5. One threat to my rules were with Janice. I have heard that she is a skilled warrior with surprising skills. Unfortunately, unlike with Sam Guyana, Not Proper in his brain doesn't see alternate lives of her in his dreams. To break down her mind, I'll have to rely on her insecurities in this world. She has done many things humans would find heinous, but she seems to have little regret of these. She may have once lived in a fallen kingdom, but this was very early in her life. Still, Not Proper's brain gives me the ability to travel the lore in lucid dreams, to So there must be some dark secrets of Janice's past somewhere in there. Another threat is Jan, an aged version of Janet from an alternate future. Unlike Janice, she has many regrets, but also the peace that comes with old age. There are things she's done that she regrets, but she has come to terms with them long ago. Jan is also more of an intellectual threat. I have a feeling she may try to use the arts of alchemy to destroy me. I should watch out. An excerpt from Glamorous Mammon's travel blog. My travels have taken me to a little mountain town called Specter's Crossing. The town is known for its ghost stories, but it's not like other ghost towns, since it is quite lively and pretty. The people in the town dedicate themselves to making the afterlife nice for ghosts. They give them places to stay, food, and enrichment, before taking them to the world beyond. Guyana does similar things in my movies, but she does that here in this town. This trip has gotten me thinking about what I could do for ghosts. I think what ghosts are lacking is a chance to put on a show. Imagine if ghosts could have a chance to perform their dream roles before passing on. Even interviews with a ghost could be fascinating. Since I saw Janice die, I've been thinking about how tragic it is that some don't get a chance to live as a hero after death. Ghost playing a hero in a show sounds nice, but still, I'm thinking what really matters is how they're remembered. Speaking of Janice, she's still alive. I saw her in this town. I thought I was seeing a ghost at first, but no. She's got flesh and metal and everything. Long story. Since coming to this town, I think I've been living in the moment. Before I would always be thinking about my next big project, or the dead's lack of the next big project. But now I feel more content in the moment. Don't get me wrong, I'm still thinking about what's in the future from me, but I'm not losing sleep thinking about it. Stay glamorous. The Magic Puppet Mountain. Every year, around the winter solstice, some magic awakens on Puppet Mountain. Ghosts who wander through the mountain possess puppets, toys, and dolls, getting physical form for the season. These possessed toys participate in festivities, reveling in their jolly new forms. The village of Puppet Mountain is dedicated to making toys for the ghosts and hosting festivities for them. After a few weeks, the magic fades, and the ghosts depart from their toy bodies, having found some peace. Then the cycle repeats the next year. Dino Journal 8. Seeing as Not Proper is just a ghost right now, I decided to take him over the Puppet Mountain for the winter solstice. It's a good place for ghosts to enjoy themselves. I was in the mood to spend time with people as a break from recent events, so I invited some friends. Sam seems to be enjoying himself, which I like to see. A lot of us are running market stalls. We'll be making some refreshments in the form of hot drinks, like tea and cider. It's not much better than that on a winter night. Not Proper Joel 10. The winter solstice is happening. Guyana has taken me to this town called Puppet Mountain. There's magic here that lets ghosts easily possess things like toys. A puppet maker there made me a custom body, which I am now possessing. Guyana is inviting some other people as well. Sam, Janice, the innkeeper, and Galaman are coming here as well. There's also these people, it's the Sam and the Observer, who knows Sam and Janice. Interestingly enough, the Observer looks very similar to me. He might be my spirit twin. I'm looking forward to the festivities here. Galaman is directing a play at the theater. I might try for one of the shows. Sam Journal 6. Guy invited me to spend time at this place called Puppet Mountain. I was afraid to lose my cool again, though Guyana doesn't seem to have hard feelings. Luckily, Puppet Mountain has been nice to me. The nightlife is pretty great over here. The nice crisp air and some thrilling slopes right down. Guyana also invited a bunch of friends. There's Sam, the Observer, and Galaman, who I haven't seen since events in Scour Town. They're both doing pretty chill. Galaman's directing the play, so I might look into joining that. I might also help rent out things like skis and sleds. It's nice to be with friends again. Synopsis of Snowflake Valley, directed by Glamorous Mammon, starring Not Proper, Sam, and the Observer. This play is about Christmas in the village of Snowflake Valley. The village is a magical place where toys are made and experiences an eternal but never bitterly cold winter. One day, the village is attacked by a giant evil goat, played by Not Proper, who scatters all the presents the town made into space. Now the town can't bring presents to the children of the world. A wizard in the town, played by the Observer, tries to find a way to save Christmas. He locates the presents and gives a flying sleigh to the hero, played by Sam. The hero takes the sleigh and retrieves all of the presents. When he almost gathers them all, the goat attacks again, but the hero defeats it. The hero gets all the presents and saves Christmas. An old journal. This is a warning to get out of this village. Recently, those in charge of the fort northwest of here have been up to suspicious activities. Capricorn Village was once a nice town, but people have started disappearing. They have gone into the mines or the fort, never to return. Minerals come out of the mine and go into the fort. The minerals have an eerie red glow. The fort is also expanding, climbing up Capricorn Mountain. It may be better for this village to die than become absorbed by whatever sinister activities are happening in the cult, but I fear that it may be too late. I will leave while I still can, and I encourage others to do the same. On Bloodstones. The earth under Capricorn Mountain contains a unique gem known as Bloodstones. They are useful for magic and rituals for the Life Taker. We mine them and send them up to the Castle Capricorn. It is said that there is a mine that resides deep under the mountain. In a way, some of the magic that flows through this region is the mine's blood. When this magic flows through certain minerals, bloodstones are formed. Count Capricorn Journal 6. It's time to find Janice's weakness. I've been looking through the lore library to find her most traumatic event. I learned that she had lost her home and family in infancy. She barely remembers it, but it's still a sore spot. This sore spot is still something I can exploit. She doesn't remember the details, but the thought of her loss may still hit hard. I've been able to find traumatic events of Sam Guyon in the lore of the alternate universe. Maybe I can figure out how to do the same for Janice. Now Proper doesn't seem to have the same connection to Janice as he does for Sam and Guyana, but maybe I can find that connection. I've determined that Not Proper's precision with Sam and Guyana would be hard to achieve, though maybe brute force can give me results. I have been breaking down the barriers between universes to find instances of Janice losing her family, before we found some useful material, not just one instance, but several, with more possible to come. I intend to collect all memories of alternate Janice's losing her family that I can, and combine all of those into a most potent nightmare. If Janice ever comes to challenge me, she will suffer the greatest terror ever experienced. Not Proper Journal 11. I felt a disturbance. A little bit ago, I swear I woke up in a day shortly after I escaped the nightmare dungeon. Shortly after Sam and Guyana challenged the Count. It was as if everything after that hadn't happened. Jack-o'-lantern's ghost parade this year didn't happen. We didn't go to Puppet Mountain. No one else seemed aware of this lost time. I thought I would have to relive these few months. Then, one day, I woke up and the world was back in the present, as if it caught up with itself. No one else seemed aware anything was wrong. At the same time, I've seen weird things in the lore library. I've been wandering the library contemplating how to make good dreams potent, and while wandering, I swear the library seems a bit more fragmented than before. This fragmentation feels similar to when I see Sam and Guyana's alternate world. It is as if cracks are forming in the library to the lore of other worlds. I notice this at the same time as the momentary time glitch. Welcome to Necropolis' very own Spookeasy. The city is built around a lake that has a pacifying effect on hungry undead. That means that the undead can live here like they did before death. The water of the lake is used in combination with a secret recipe to brew potions that can keep the undead from hungering for human flesh. These can be drunk here at the Spookeasy, or be taken out of the city to feel its effect elsewhere. Here in Necropolis, we don't bite. Here, ghouls, zombies, skeletons, and vampires can live in easy and enjoy a vibrant nightlife all day long. Sam Journal 7. As we left Puppet Mountain, Lamb came to me with a solution for my partial vampire problem. He said he's found a city under Capricorn Mountain where some friendly undead folks live. The city is apparently known for some magic and drinks that can pacify the undead. Being half undead, whatever is in that city may help me stay sane in the ruins. I visited the city Necropolis, and there's a whole bar full of drinks that can keep me calm. However, I don't think the common ones are strong enough for the ruins. I'll keep looking around for something. Even though the undead don't need to eat, the same way humans do, they still need something to keep them animated. Undead don't process organic nutrients for energy, since they are maintained by magic. The magic still has to come from somewhere. Materials rich in necrotic magic are sufficient to keep an undead alive, though many undead foods contain other substances. Undead food often contains material to repair damage to an undead's body. Most undead prefer to eat food made from bones and meat to maintain a fleshy body, though some eat other things. Any material consumed by an undead is used to repair their bodies. This means that vegetarian undead may become plant-like over time, The undead can also eat minerals or other inorganic materials. Fleshy bodies are useful, though some undead prefer just bones, or even planty or rocky bodies. This is the secret hideout of the Scrap Eater game. If you are not a member and you are reading this, then get ready for a walloping. If you haven't gotten the walloping just now, you may now read the secrets in this book. The Scrap Eater gang produces the highest potency pacification juice in Necropolis. No one else produces the juice better, and if they do, you bet they're walloped. Our leader is Johnny Scrap Eater. He gets his tough metal body from the discarded electronics that compose his diet. If you wrong him, then you'll likely get a face full of piston-powered fists and laser eyes. Our recipe for pacification juice allows us to visit that cursed ruined city that makes the undead go berserk. When drinking the juice, we can visit it without danger, and take its scrap to eat. Sam Journal 8. I've been asking around where I can find a strong enough bottle of pacification to go to the ruins. After some time, someone told me about a secret hideout in the sewers that makes some strong stuff. I found a door that says no entry. In my experience, secret hideouts seem to be found behind that kind of sign. Either that or something I probably shouldn't mess with. I busted in, and the secret hideout was behind it. Some thugs came to attack me, and they sort of looked like they were partly made of metal. I tried telling them I wanted their juice, but they didn't want to hear it. I knocked them down and got to their boss. This guy was fully made of metal and blinking lights. We fought, and it was tough. He punched hard and started fire at me. I blocked and endured the best I could, and eventually I wore him down. Once he was banged up, I asked him again if I could get some juice. He said I'm a scary guy and that I earned his respect. He allowed me to take whatever I needed. I did so, and went back home. And said she's going deep into the ruins of Janice and Rupert soon. I'll take the juice and go with them. Blood alchemy and the undead. The art of necromancy is taking a lifeless corpse and giving it life again. The bodies of anything from beasts to humans can be turned into undead beings. The Bloodthorn Forest is home to types of fungi, essential to the blood alchemy process. These fungi break down dead bodies and imbue the ground with special energy. Plants growing from this ground gain a red color and can be harvested for alchemical materials. These materials are used in blood magic rituals to create undead constructs. These rituals can be intentional or a wild environmental effect in the area. The undead have a reputation for violence, but they can be pacified. Undead humans have populated the underground city of Necropolis, and used waters from an aquifer to create potions to pacify the undead. Proximity to large amounts of these waters, or drinking concentrated versions of them, can pacify the undead. One use of the undead are skeletal horses used as beasts of burden or mounts in the forest. They require less maintenance than living horses, and they are given potions to stay pacified. Unused horse names of Dead Horse Ranch, Jacob, Little Sebastian, Renee, Roscoe, Gluestick, Drumstick, Guyana Journal 9. For a while, something has felt off in Specter's Crossing. Despite my best guidance, less and less ghosts seem able to complete their journeys. I thought I was getting a string of ghosts that were beyond my abilities to bring peace to. I found out there's another reason for this issue. Rupert came back from the ruins, discovering that a surviving group of pagan from their old plague had blocked the doorway for the dead in the city. This blockage was also impacting other doorways in the area. Rupert said that there is a prophecy team that could fix this problem. There's a scholar, Paradox, Knight, and Disciple. The scholar would have the knowledge and insight to navigate the city. That's Rupert. The Paradox would wield the powers of night, day, magic, and technology. The Paradox would be both human and animal, and fight off the most powerful evils of the city. That's Janice. The Knight would be the bane of demons, with a mental and physical fortitude to withstand waves of monsters. That's Sam. Then there's the Disciple, a follower of the teachings of the Reaper, someone who opens the way between the dead and the living. That's me. We gathered and delved into the ruined city. Rupert guided us through the city's riddles and ciphers. The rest of us fought off the deep paganism and their evils. Eventually, we made our way into the chamber of the doorway. It was blocked by dark vine-like tendrils. That was the curse placed on the door. Before I could get close to the door, some deep paganism arrived and summoned the ghosts of Mammonas, a tyrant who conquered the kingdom of Janice's family. Many other monsters arrived. Janice and Sam fought them off, and I went towards the door. Wielding my scythe, I sliced through the tendrils. I was distracted by various enemies that made their way past Sam, but I was taking the tendrils down. Finally, I sliced away the final tendrils. Janice thrust the ghost of Mammonis through the door and into hell. We cleared the final monsters. Sam suffered some damage, but he was still alive. Without his help, we would have failed. We left the ruins. It was more peaceful. Heading up, and I found some seeds for the Aurora fruit along the way. I will grow the fruit in my van. Once it bears fruit, I'll give the harvest to Jan and Janice. That's the last ingredients they need to cure Sam. I'll grow the fruit as quick and well that I can. Sam Journal 9. I finally went down to help Guyana get some Aurora fruits. I met with Guyana, but she had some news. She said that Rupert came back from his exploration of the ruins and has found some prophecy. Long story short, Rupert, Guyana, Janice, and I were finding ourselves delving into the ruins. I drank some of the potions, and the energy in the ruins had little effect on me. In the deepest part of the ruins, there was a group of Pagnum practicing dark magic. The ruins were full of secret doorways and obstacles, and Rupert was great at deciphering them. The rest of us fought demons and things trying to stop us. Finally, we reached the bottom of the ruins. There, some deep Pagnum summoned the ghost of Mammonis. Mammonis helped me defeat Dripping Mammon and the Observer's plot in the past, though since then he decided to destroy the world. The Observer and Jan reversed the destruction he had done in Skyrock Town, but Mammonis and his fortress were still destroyed. I don't think Mammonis was ever a good guy while I knew him. He just happened to be the enemy of my enemies. Now we were fighting him again. Janice fought his ghost one-on-one. Janice has a grudge on Mammonis since he conquered her family's kingdom. While they fought, I held back the army of the demons in Deep Paganum. Deep Paganum had been blocking the doorway to the world of the dead, which was impacting doorways like that all around the area. Guyana was focusing on clearing the doorway. I defeated a lot of the army, but it was overwhelming. The presence and numbers was starting to overpower the potion's effect. I fell down, but then Janice took down the remaining army and held me up. Guyana opened up the doorway, and we left the ruins. She found some seeds for the Aurora fruit, and is now growing them. I hope Janice defeating Mammonis for the final time gets her feeling better. Or maybe the encounter opened old wounds. I'll gather my strength while the fruit grows. I'll need to be my best when we take down Count Capricorn, the Decomposer. The Decomposer is an aspect of the Reaper, but focused on the cycles between life and death. They are like a mushroom. They take dead things and transform them into material for enriching life. In any form of death, it is essential to take their corpses left behind and use them to grow new generations of life. Death is an end, but also a beginning. Without the Decomposer, the corruption of stagnant corpses spreads through the world, and life can no longer thrive. Mushrooms take care of physical corpses, but the Decomposer recycles souls of the dead into new spectral material that can be used to grow new souls. The Decomposer carries a pitchfork, their symbol. Like a farmer, the Decomposer uses the pitchfork to tend to materials of life. The serpent skeletons of Capricorn Mountain. Some spots around Capricorn Mountain are skeletons of ancient serpentine beasts. Their origin is uncertain. Maybe these serpents were intelligent, and they traveled to the mountains so their souls could exit there. Another theory is that these great beasts lived and died at these mountains, and their great carcasses attracted the region's necromantic magic. Their bones are very old, yet they haven't decayed. Their corpses are stagnant and resistant to decomposition. Maybe these skeletons are here to balance decomposition and make sure death has a lasting presence on these mountains, just like the undead beings that live in Necropolis. Even though this is contradictory to the Decomposer's teachings, they keep the mountain like it is. One skeleton can be found underground in the bone yards near the Necropolis. Another skeleton can be found on top of the cliffs of the Mushroom Gorge. Now, Proper Journal 12. Everyone is getting ready to take down the Count. Sam, Gaia, Janice, and Rupert are all going to the ruins to get a fruit using the devampirification machine. I'm not joining them. Instead, I've been trying to find a way to counter Count Capricorn's ability to inflict potent nightmares. I want to learn how to inflict potent dreams as a counter to the nightmares. I want to find my friends' moments of triumph in other realities and use those to help. The crucial thing I'm missing is how to make those triumphs feel real, much like how the Count makes nightmares feel real. I didn't have any luck for a while. I decided to try having a vision done in the Red Cap village. They had a shrine for the Decomposer, a type of reaper, but also a deity of mushrooms and visions. I sat at the shrine, and soon enough woke up in a trippy dream. I reached a being in the dream, and asked it for guidance. Not proper. You have come seeking truth. You seek to help your friends. You seek secret knowledge, which is why you have come here. Not proper. Your imagination is linked to this world. Your story is yours to decide. You are an author. Your potential is greater than you know. The power you seek is not for the world to give, but for you to find. Wake up, Not proper. The power is yours. It told me I can give myself the power I seek and that I am an author. It also said that the world is linked to my imagination. I'm not sure what that stuff means, and if I think about it too much, I feel like I would have an existential crisis. It sounded like the vision was saying something like the power was within me all along, but I took its advice. I imagined that I had the power, and now I have a feeling that I do. Maybe the vision is right. I might have a role in this world I didn't expect. Is it because I can see into alternate realities? I don't know. Thinking about it makes me feel weird. For now, I'll focus on helping my friends. The Tunnel of Exile. Centuries ago, a small group of Red Cap village gnomes were sent to exile up this tunnel, infested with mold. They were sent away for their crimes against the Decomposer's teachings. These gnomes believed that death shouldn't be recycled for the world's life, but for their own power. We hoped sending them away would prevent them from corrupting the ideas of the Decomposer. That decision may not have worked as intended. Since their exile, a castle was constructed on the mountain inhabited by vampires. These vampires have similar ideas to the exiles, and have managed to corrupt some of the world. The rise of the vampires. We have been exiled, but now we can pursue our goals without persecution. We can now worship the Life Taker in their true form. An ancient god lives under this mountain, and their essence has grown into blood-red fungi in this cavern. Consuming this fungus has given us vampiric powers. We are becoming gaunt and beast-like, but we now have the power we have always desired. We feed on the creatures in these caverns, absorbing their life essence, making us stronger. Sometimes we only feed on their blood, and then the creatures show vampiric tendencies before perishing. It seems vampirism can spread, though it is too potent for bugs and other crawlers in the caves. Other humanoids may be able to handle vampiric power. We just need to find them. We cannot go back through the Tunnel of Exile, but these caves go further. They lead to a small fort on the mountain. There are sure to be humans there, soon to be new converts to the Life Taker. Vampires whose bodies can contain its power can live forever. We do not age and die. The conventional ways of killing are ineffective on us. Still, we are not immune to some form of magics. We discovered that the blood fungus can contain a being's power. If we can get a blood fungus to contain a dead vampire's power, then a vampire can truly live forever. The Damned Descent. Deep below this mountain is the consciousness, whose streams transform the world around it. It is the source for many of the vampire's powers, causing the growth of bloodstones and blood fungus. The dreams of this consciousness may be linked to the lowest levels of hell, where damned spirits dwell. Sometimes, the damned spirits leak out and ascend into this cavern. They are drawn to this trap, which captures them for use in various forms of soul magic. The descent down to the consciousness lies below the mud of this cavern. This descent starts in the physical world and ends in the dream world. As the pit goes deeper down, reality breaks apart until there is no reality left. The descents start as a muddy crawl, then mud gives way to water, and then water thins into something like air, as much as an atmosphere can be like in air in dreams. All the way down the pit are unearthly scenes and creatures. Not much is known about what is down there. Few have ventured its depths, and the ones who do are never sane enough to describe it. Not even vampires familiar with nightmares. Guyana Journal 10. The Aurora fruits have finished growing. I harvested them and gave them to Janice and Jan. They processed it into elixir needed for the devampirification machine. The machine works. Sam is back to normal. Now we need to fix Not proper. We were about to make plans to fight the Count, but Janice wasn't in our meeting. Sam Journal 10. The devampirification machine is ready. I entered it, and finally I was human again. It was time for us to take down the Count and get Not Proper's body back. Diana, the innkeeper, Jan, Not Proper, and I gathered before entering the castle, but Janice wasn't there. Not Proper, Journal 13. It's time to get my body back. The innkeeper, Sam, Janice, Jen, and Gaia and I were going to storm Castle Capricorn. We met up, but Janice wasn't there. This baffled me. Why would she make a decision like that? The final moments of Count Capricorn. It's almost time for me to seize control of Specter's Crossing in the mountains. First, I need to deal with some newts who challenged my ascension. Janice came to challenge me in my throne room. She wanted to fight. I guess Janice was always been quick to act. I decided to follow Janice to make sure she's safe. She must have gone ahead. Immediately, I rushed to the castle. I couldn't let the Count take down Janice. The others were upset at Janice's recklessness for her own life, but that didn't occur to me. I just need to help her. Jansen said Janice went ahead to take down the Count herself. Sam immediately rushed to the castle. We were very concerned that Janice would fail fighting the Count by herself. I followed Sam with Jan, Not Proper, and the innkeeper. I could have easily destroyed her sanity in an instant, but I gave her a fight. Then it would be more devastating if she lost. We got to the point where she seemed hopeful she would win, and then I released the nightmare on her. She screamed and collapsed, crying like an infant without her mother, which is exactly who she is. I just had to make her realize. I was about to bite her, but then the others came. I got to the throne room, and there she was. She was fallen and screaming on the floor. The Count must have done something terrible to her. I ran straight for the Count and knocked him back. All I wanted to do was knock him down. He ran away. I followed him up the towers of the castle. When he found her, he was about to be bitten, but Sam knocked the Count away. Jan and Gaia made sure she was safe, and we chased the Count up the castle. When we got to the throne room, Sam was chasing after the Count, and Janice was on the floor. Jan had made a device to teleport people into her pocket dimension, or tent, and she sent Janice into her tent so she would be safe. Then we all chased the Count with Sam. He climbed up to the highest point in the tower. Sam charged me and knocked me back. Diana, Jan, and the innkeeper Not Proper were behind him. I was hoping to have Janice fight on my side as a vampire, but there was still a way to fight on my terms. I climbed up my castle to the top of the Nightmare Tower. They followed me. Then I brought all of us into the Nightmare Arena, where my power is greatest. We stopped the chase. At some eerie study full of frightening objects. He flipped through a book, shouted a word. Suddenly, we were all in a massive dark chamber. Red pillars reached into the dark swirling clouds, and blue fires burned in the ring around us. When we got to the top of the tower, the Count took us into some sort of pocket dimension nightmare arena. The fight began. We thought we had cornered the Count, but then he cast a spell. He teleported us all to a terrifying arena and started fighting. I unleashed the power of the Life Taker on them. A storm of scarlet tridents descended from the vortex above. Then, hell rained down from above. I reflected flaming tridents from myself and my friends. I still had a mission to engage the Count, but he kept sending terrors at us. I got close to as many of them as I could, to stop them from attacking anyone else. Everyone else was doing okay, but we were getting tired. I dodged his attacks. When we got hit, the innkeeper made sure to heal any wounds or curses. Jen used various devices to take down projectiles. Not Proper stood back to observe. Sam continued to chase the Count. I didn't have much to fight with, so I stood back. I knew that if the Count unleashed any nightmares, I would need to be there to counter them. Soon that time came. They were able to withstand the attack. I pressed forward. There were still many more tricks in my sleeve. As the battle went on, I wore them down. I tried once more to release nightmares on Sam and Guyana. The Count started manifesting nightmares for Sam and Guyana. I went to them both and gave them potent dreams of their alternate universe triumphs. The Count unleashed nightmares and they had no effect. I saw the Count manifesting some dark energy in his hand. Looking into it, I felt weak and hopeless. Just like I did before I became a half-vampire. Then Not Proper came and cast a spell on me. My words faded. I even felt hopeful. I felt heroic and invulnerable. The Count threw the nightmare at me, and I felt none of it. In a moment of courage, I faced the Count. My sword clashed with his trident. We were getting tired. I saw the Count summoning a nightmare. It's just like the one I saw when Sam became a vampire. It made me feel like I had betrayed everything I love. Then, Not Proper came over and summoned a dream. The nightmare suddenly wasn't so frightening. I felt like I was in touch with everything around me. I felt synergy with my friends. I felt nothing catch me off guard. The Count threw the nightmare at me, and I jumped out of the way almost instinctively. Out of the blue flames in the arena, an army of possessed armor emerged. They were animated by souls tethered to the Count's will. Despicable. I could hear the pain of each soul made to act against his will. I started to reach out to the magic chaining each soul to the Count, and slice them with my scythe. One by one the souls were freed, and they each charged at the Count, but they did not penetrate their minds. I saw that Not Proper was filling their heads with pointless dreams. Unfortunately, these dreams strengthened them against me. The Innkeeper was warding away any curse I tried to cast. I tried manifesting an army of possessed armor against them, but Guyana broke their chains, sending the souls within them to rise against me. Sam and Guyana seemed more in power than ever. Sam bravely took on the Count one-on-one, and Guyana evaded any threat. I tried helping Jan and Innkeeper as much as I could, despite not being as familiar with the alternate universes. I gave whatever inspiration I could for Jan's machines with the Innkeeper's spells. The Count summoned an army of souls and Guyana freed them. Finally, a sword pierced into his pale flesh like rays of light shining into his core. He screamed. Where the Count was once smug, he now seemed desperate. Sam's sword shined brighter than ever before, and sent pain searing into me. I couldn't believe it. I was overwhelmed. Soon, Sam finally took down the Count. Jan teleported him into the devampirification machine, and the rest of us to nearby. Sam was dueling with the Count, and dealt his final blow. Jan sent the Count to the devampirification machine. Jan took out advice that sent the Count into the vampirification machine, and us into a tent. We had to activate the machine, and soon, Not Proper's body was just as it was before. Jan sent some device to me, and next thing I knew I was elsewhere in some apparatus. They activated it, and I could feel my grasp on Not Proper's body disintegrating. I could feel my grasp on my world disintegrating. I could feel myself disintegrating. Curses! Curses! Curses. The machine was activated. The spirit of the Count evaporated, leaving my uninhabited body behind. God helped me cross back over to my body. Finally, I'm physical again. Jan then took us all to her lab in the tent, and we activated the machine. The Count was vanished from Not Proper's body. Then I helped Not Proper cross from the spirit world back into the physical world and his body. Yana brought her back into his body. Then I thought about Janice again. While I chased the Count up the towers, Jan was using the same device to send Janice to safety in the tent. I came to see her. She was sleeping, but not soundly. Not Proper came over and seemed to dispel any nightmares she was having, just like he did with me. She woke up and said that she needed a good cry, but what the Count did was uncalled for. I asked how she was feeling, and she said better than ever, because her pack is with her. The Count must have awoken some old memories in Janice of losing her family, her first pack. Still, ever since the battle with Drippy Mammon, we've been there for each other. We are a pack now. We're going to leave Specter's Crossing and go our own paths. Still, I'm sure paths will cross many times before for many more adventures. I've helped many ghosts cross to the other side, but I think what I've done recently has helped the spiritual health of this area the most. I helped take down the barriers that Deep Hackadam had set up in the ghost world, and I helped stop Castle Capricorn's exploitation of souls. Now more than ever, I feel like I've truly made an impact on this place. I think I've made the Reaper proud. I feel one with Specter's Crossing, but also my friends. Sam, Janice, Jan, and Not Proper are going elsewhere now. I suppose they're still looking for a place where they feel they truly belong. Most people don't, but that's fine. Life is a wonderful journey to go on, even the journey doesn't conclude. There's still one more whose vampirism I wanted to cure, that being Horn, the goat I was friends with when I first moved into Specter's Crossing, before this all happened. I found him in the forest, and took him to the machine. Soon he was also good as new. We also made sure to remove the goat lord's blood fungus. Hopefully nothing like that will ever happen again. Also want to make sure any other willing vampires find peace in Necropolis. or with its elixirs, instead of succumbing to the way of the life taker. Oddly, being back in my own body hasn't given me as much satisfaction as I expected. It's great that Count Capricorn isn't in it anymore. Ever since my vision at the Red Cap Village, I've been wondering about my place in this world. I have a body in this world, but I'm not sure what my purpose is. Maybe that's just life, but I feel like there's something more to my existence that I'm unaware of. First, there was my visions of alternate universe for Sam, Guyana, and others. Then a glitch in time in this world that no one else felt. Then the vision said that the world is linked to my imagination. Is there some special role I have in this world? I think I want to be a resident of this world, but I'm not sure it feels right. I feel like an outsider, a spectator, an author even. Maybe ghosts feels closer to whatever I am destined to be. And that has been the lore tour of the world of Specter's Crossing. Yet another world complete, yet more lore complete. I hope you enjoyed, everybody. Goodbye. Sam wishes you well.